Hi, and welcome to another desktop tutorial video. In today's video, we will be looking at cable calculations. To access cable calculations, click on Tools, and then click on the Cable Calculations button. This will open the Cable Calculations window. The top part of the screen is the cable standards. By using the filters on each column, we can filter for specific information that must be used. For example, if I wanted to use African cables instead of Aberdeen, then I can filter for all my African cables. If I remove all my filters, then I will use all my cable standards. The bottom part of my screen contains all my cables that can be sized. If I look at the information, for example, for each cable, I can also see which load is connected to that cable. Please note that the motors or the equipment that have been connected to those cables have already been sized. For cable calculations to work, it is required that the length and derating factors are populated. If a formula is used that uses the estimate length, then the estimate length needs to be populated. Firstly, what we want to do is we'll select a formula to use. So I'll click on Configure Formulas, and from here we can specify which formulas to use or add our own formulas as well. Let's say I'm going to use the actual 380 volt and 3 core formula. Under each category, I have different formulas that are used. I can specify which formula must be used by checking on the checked box next to use this formula with cable calculation. In each of these formulas, notice that we require specific fields to be populated from the database. So if I look at my startup voltage drop, then the motor standards full load current is required. So if my load did not have a standard on it, we would not have been able to reference this information. We can also go and specify our own user formulas. So if you wish, then you can use these as well. For now, I'm going to click OK. And because I want to size all my cables, I can click Select All Cables. I'm going to size all of them whether or not they did have a cable standard on it. Please notice also that I do not have information for this last cable under my length or derating factor. I'm now going to click on the Calculate Using All Formulas button. As soon as I've done that, notice that under my cable standard, it has gone and selected a cable standard for me. This last one over here tells me that I must look at the errors, and if I were to go to Notes, then it tells me error that my cable derating factor used in formula is empty, or at my startup voltage drop, cable length is empty. I can also go and manually assign a cable standard. I can do that by selecting the cable standard that I want, selecting the cable that I want to size manually, and then click Manually Assign Selected Cable Standard. This will overwrite any cable standard that was assigned to this cable, and to save the changes, I'll simply click on Save and Close. Please note that this is a tool. Even though it is accurate, it still is the responsibility of the engineer to check it. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. We trust it was informative.